All right, guys. We have some life situations and problems tonight. So we are going to go live together. Okay, all three of us. Because it's a thing. So tonight, I guess in reality, I say, how's this day? What's going on? I mean, how was the day? How was your day?
My day was good. It was actually, yeah, it was good. I can't complain at all.
Any meetings that you feel like, or conversations that you feel that went to left, maybe?
Today,
or did not expect?
uh, no, not really. I had a good conversation with I consider him to be like a friend of mine
Okay.
about how it was actually a pretty good one. It was actually about how sometimes people will will be all in your business, but it's basically because you're telling them more than what you should tell them, and then they act like it's them, it's their situation, it's their problem, and then they want to give you what they think is best, and you're like, you don't even know. So why are you all up in my business, even though I'm the one to blame because I told him a little bit too much, but now he's trying to tell me, yo, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. And I just thought about our conversations over the past few months and how we are the root of our own problems by telling people too much about what we got going on. And then when you tell them, they tend to want to kind of steer you in another direction when you already had this idea of where you want to go.
Yeah.
And I already knew what was happening, and only because it was based on our conversations that we already had. But it was kind of surprising to see that because this person has never been in those shoes or never done what we want to do.
Okay.
But yet he wants to tell me how to do it.
He wants to dictate.
Yeah.
Because we dictators, right? That's what people do. They want to dictate regurgitate and dictate to you what you tell to them.
Yes.
Because then they become that expert. But for me, that underlying part is that's something. It's like a jealousy thing, right? Because they're like,
yes.
Oh, well, you can't be doing that because I need you to stay here on this level with me because you can't go any higher because in reality they already feel like you're higher than them.
Mm-hmm.
So the minute you start to take it to the next level, I told y'all I'm wearing my sparkle crown with my sparkle heels and my sparkle dress and whatever it is.
Yes.
And you can come in with your button-down shirt and whatever you feel is important to you, because in reality, the next level is determined by me, not by anybody else.
That's right.
So today we were supposed to be talking about taking action on your goals. Now, in reality, right? A lot of people don't know what take action is, because when people would say to me, you got to take action, I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, what does take action mean? And people will sit in the same place because they have no clue what take action means. Or they don't want to say, what do you mean? Like, they just pretend they're like, oh, did you just take action? And they're like, yeah, I did take action. But in reality, taking action is doing something, right? So say you want to go live and you talk about it, but then you never do it. The taking action part is actually going live. You want to do videos, you record them, but you never post them for anybody else to see. The taking action part is the posting. So in reality, ask yourself the dreams, the goals, the things that you have. But first off, let's back up. When you want to do something, are you clear on where you want to go? Do you know what you want? Because that's the first step, right? We can't take action on a goal unless we know what we want. And that's the first step. Like, are you clear? Are you clear?
Mommy,
what is it? I don't understand what's going on right now. What? This is so. First off, the computer wouldn't work. And now we're having a sideline conversation. But here's the deal. We're going to move on. Ask yourself, are you clear on your goals? Are you clear on something you want? Like, let me find my paper. Okay, it's gonna take too much because it's all over there. But figure out what you want and then take and break it down into smaller goals. So in reality, you have now decided what you want. If it's just one thing, it doesn't matter. It just has to be done, right? So write it down, because we could talk about goals all day. If they in here, it really don't matter.
And with that, I've learned that when you do write it down, at least a tip is to put it in past tense, saying that you've already done it, or you are there already.
Yes.
And because I was writing down what I want. I want to do this. I want to do that. I list it down. And then when I list everything out, I start prioritizing it. Okay, so what's the most, what is the one thing that I want that's going to help me advance in whatever it is I want to do? Say, for instance, if I want another job, I on my list, I want a new car. I want this and that. I have to prioritize. I said, well, which one is more important here? Is it the car or is it a new job?
I mean, is a job going to pay for that car?
Yeah, and that's a great point that you said. I'm glad we're talking about this, because I've often had to tell people, or at least had this discussion, to say, okay, hold on. First of all, you just get your income tax check.
Oh God, that's a whole nother.
It is, but it's about priorities too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's more important? Is it more important that you get this check that you're not used to getting, or maybe you are used to getting, but people will spend it up front, and you gotta think, what's your priority? You never had that. You may have been expecting it, but you didn't have to have it.
You planning for money.
You're planning for it,
or you might not. You may not get it. You setting like, oh, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna use that to with my income tax. I got $5,000 coming. I'm gonna get it when I get my income tax. What happens if that $5,000 don't come?
Exactly.
What do we do? It's the robbing Peter to pay Paul, right?
Yeah, robbing Peter to pay Paul.
that was his best friend. I'm like, I did not live my life like that. I could not. I'm like, wait, what happened if you don't? Like, what if I'm the what if kind of person, right? What if I don't get that money? So now I don't get what I want. But if we set intentions, and that goes back to setting intentions, doing what we need to do, setting the goals. I wish I had my paper. It's in the journal. So I've got this 90-day journal coming out, and it's about setting a goal. You have a main goal, and then you have mini goals. And the main goal is, I don't know, we talk about this every time. Like, I say this thing and people are like, that's not realistic, right? Like, that's not this. So in the reality, whatever your main goal is, and it can be huge, it can be gigantic, but you cannot limit yourself by saying you could never have that. You can't, us. You know, people always saying, don't label me with you. Don't put me in the same package, because I didn't come in the same package with you. When I came into this world, it was solo dolo. Yes. And everything you got going on has nothing to do with me. Now, if I have something that can help you get to the next level, let me know. But do not put me and you in the same level of upgrade. Because this one over here told me, what you told me yesterday?
I'm not sure. What?
He said that I am an overachiever. That was the word he used. And for me, I don't overachieve. I achieve what I want. And I don't look left or right. I look forward for where I want to go. So he may think I'm an overachiever, but for me, in reality, in my head, I already evaluated it and said, then you need to step your game up if you feel as though that I'm an overachiever. And for me, when he said it, I was like, first I was like, what the hell do you mean overachiever? Like, what? But I always have to remember, right? My expectations of how people respond or what people say will fail me every time, because I'm like, like, in reality, how dare you say I'm overachieving? How dare you? Because
I just know you're very competitive.
I am.
Wait.
Wait,
I'm not.
came for me.
Okay. Wait. Let me back up.
Yeah, back up.
Not really competitive. You're not. You are a competitive person, but you're really not. I guess it's not the same word. You're not competing against anyone.
I guess I'm competing myself, right?
Yeah, you're competing against yourself, but when someone else is looking at you, I think they would define you as being a person who is very competitive. But what they don't know is that you're not doing it based on outside influences.
No,
so you do this because it's you. However, when you're in a relationship, there's people in your inner circle, me in particular here, that I feel like I really need to step my game up. So wait. So by me saying that, yeah, I the minute it came out of my mouth, I want to take those words back, like real quick. And I said, man, it's already gone. It's
and I had already, my comeback was already on 10.
And I was like, how do I change the subject right now? Because this is not going to end good. Because I knew you were going to tell me that, well, maybe you need to step your game up. But then I also thought about it, and that's people in general, to where here I am saying what I think you are, but that's my fault because I'm thinking that way. Mm-hmm. So who's really like that?
I don't know. This looks really bad.
And that's my own fault. That's people's own fault when they want to judge others based off of their lack of what they call of success or at least being on your same level. Well, and that's the way I take it, because I know when you, because I'm really starting to think about this even more, and I have stepped my game up. And here's the thing: if you think that you are successful, if you think, oh man, I'm right here, there's always somebody's going to be right here, and I met that match right here. And that's all I'm saying. I was like, man, I thought I was doing good until I look at you and what you're doing. I'm like, oh man, I really need to step my game up. Because you will make not just me look bad, you make a lot of people look bad. But yes.
I don't come out trying to make people look bad. I don't. And if you feel that I'm trying to make you look bad, then it's something that you have to look at self, because self is the reason why you feel that way.
You're right.
And I would say for my entire life, right? So growing up, we moved from St. Thomas to Baltimore, and a lot of the darker skinned Black girls, right, will be like, oh, you think you all that. What? I mean, I guess I'm not the only light skinned girl, right? Like that lived with that, but oh, you think you all that because you light skin and you got long hair. Listen, I didn't choose. I mean, I guess, in reality, spiritually, I did choose my mom and daddy, right? But I did not come into this world like, oh, hey, I want this man to be my daddy because he gonna give me the good hair, or I want my mama to be this because she gonna give me this. Yeah. I didn't. Everything I've ever done is for me. When I start something, it's for me. I think of me in the end, right? I don't say, well, you know what? Let me do this because they're gonna make him look bad. Or you know what? Let me do this because I could do it better than her, and that's what I'm gonna do. I have never. Competition is the devil. It is the death of all things. And if you go into a situation trying to compete with somebody else, it will fail.
That's right.
And at this, when people try to compete with you and what you have, your gifts, your blessings, whatever it is, you don't have to worry about that, because they're going to weed themselves out, because they're always trying to compete with you. They'll never know what you're doing. Right. You do what you do because it's a love, it's a passion, right? So 20 years in the Air Force, I didn't want to deal with people. I just wanted that door that nobody else could talk to me. Say what you gotta say and move on. Like, I ain't got time. What you need? What you need? And if you came incorrectly at me and you wanted something from me, we got a real life problem. But I have never had an issue stating that don't come for me, because when you come for me, I'm gonna come back. But everything I've ever done is for me. It's never been for anybody else. It ain't even to say you need to step again. If you want to stay at the same level, stay at the same level.
Oh, I know, but you're not talking to me though, because you would not let me stay at a certain level.
I mean, okay, here's the deal.
Now, because I think, well, because we are one, because we're married. Now, For everyone else, yes. But I want to go back to what you were saying earlier, because when you are competing against someone, are you really being who you want to be? If I'm competing against you, and I look at everything you're doing.
No, you're not. But so here's the deal. Here's another way people could think, right? So competition wise, if me and you start out in the same business and I'm like, you know what? I'm always gonna be one step ahead of him. That's still a competition with myself because I don't know what you're doing. I don't. So in reality, people who friend you to just be like, oh, what is she doing today? You know, let me just talk to her, see how much she gonna tell me, and then turn around and have the same thing.
Yes.
This right there is something. It's a different situation. But in reality, it's like, I know I keep saying reality, but the competition is with self. It's a problem you have in yourself. But
that's right.
When we talk about taking action on your goals, right? It's, what do you want? What do you want? Because I could tell you I want to do 10 different things, and you never know which one I choose to do. So when you come at me with, you an overachiever,
let's just say you set the bar very high.
I mean, I do.
And it's your own bar, though, so you can do that. But when you're living in the same house with somebody who sets the bar high, I think it's a good thing that I'm also like, well, and I thought I was doing pretty good. It just surprises me because I've never met, and I'm not just saying this, excuse me, because you're my wife or anything. I'm saying this because this is what I witnessed, and I try to. I'm not judging, but no, I'm not judging. What I do is I observe people. I always thought I observed them very well, and most times people will tell you that they're going to do something, and I would say out of 10 things they say they're going to do, they'll probably only do about how many out of 10? Most people.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on the person.
True, but most
like
people.
5, right?
Yeah, I would say 5 and 6, but with you,
10 all the way.
All 10.
10 all the way.
Oh, I mean, just yesterday, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get up in the morning. A day before yesterday, I'm going to get up in the morning at 5 and work out.
5 a.m. club.
And I'm up at 4:15. So
he tried to throw that in.
No, I'm just saying I'm up at 4:15. I'm trying to get a quick workout. All right. And something always falls through. I don't get the full workout. And sure enough, I come from the gym, the home gym, and you're up 5 o'clock, getting dressed and everything. And I was like, you've been doing this ever since I met you. And I don't know why I'm still questioning. It's been, 15 years or so? But anyway, I know I keep adding another year or two onto our years of marriage. But ever since I met you, you've been doing this. I'm like, and I even question, like, how? But my thing is that I did that when I was in the military for someone else. But you do that for you. And I think when people, if you look at, for everyone listening, if you look at your own life and you see how much effort and drive and everything you give to your job, and then think about how much of that same type of effort you give to your own life and your own passion, your own goals, even to your own family. When you say, you know what, I'm going to go to work from 9 o'clock, and I probably come home late, 8 o'clock. Then you're doing this. You're saying, I'm going to be home at 5. I come home at 8. You're doing this. You think, I have to provide for my family. It's a job. My family sees that as me taking care of the family. Because why? You're going to work every day. But yet, you go home and you want to start a side business, or you want to say you want to do something with the family, and that continues to fail. You're like, so which one is more important? Or how do you say, hey, how do you put that same energy and that same balance with everything you want going on? If you can put that same amount at home or whatever your passion is that you put in your job, and I know I've said this.
I mean, the question is, are they really putting passion into the job too, right? So they could just show up. You can just show up, like, because somebody here's the deal. I had a conversation with a friend, and I told her that she needed to start her own business because of the talent she has. She retired from the military, and she's very good at computers. But she got into a job doing computers, right? And I'm like, well, why don't you just start a business for yourself? She's like, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I mean, in reality, you're doing the same thing for somebody else. And she could do both, but her balance, she can't find it, right? And not a lot of people can. But here's the deal. When it comes to starting a goal, a business, anything you want to do, your passion to quit has to, in any and everything you do, has to be, you have to figure out how to twist it, because you want your drive to quit, your passion to get forward. The two are out balance, because people will quit faster than they would get up at 5 a.m.
Yes.
And for me, that 5 a.m. club is hard as hell, because I have to get to bed like 10 o'clock. Like, if I don't get to bed by 10 o'clock, I'm struggling. It's a struggle bus. And I already have issues going to sleep, It's a whole lot of things that plays a part in me succeeding in that 5 a.m. I don't set an alarm. Maybe I should, right? But for the first 2 days I said I was going to get up at 5, I woke up exactly at 5 o'clock. Exactly. Last night, I didn't get to bed at 10. So this morning, I didn't wake up till he told me he was leaving at 5:15. But you know what? I got up.
5:15?
Yeah, it was 5:15.
Oh, go ahead.
I got up and went to work out. Like, I still, no matter what, I fit what I needed to do in the time that I had. So I did my workout and I came inside and I still move forward. It's about changing how you see what you want. So start thinking about, okay, yeah, 5 o'clock. Oh man, that is hell of early. But if you start thinking, you know what? 5 o'clock will help me get where I need to go. 5 o'clock will help me fit in that extra thing that I'm missing. Because me and RJ, when we come home, sometimes he don't want to walk with me. And I'm like, RJ, you want to go walk? And then I'll be like, okay, well, then I get into something else. I'm like, you know what? Let me fix this, because this, and then working out gets put to the side, because it's like, okay, but then I'm like, well, you know what? I can always run later. I can run at night. But then it's like, okay, then I got to run at a specific time. I got to make sure everything is done at the right time, everything has to be perfect, because in the end, everything flows. The day still goes. But what's important to you is the question. So taking action is doing what you said you'll do. Bottom line, right? You say you want to learn how to make cookies. Start making cookies. Just start. Just take a step. Like, maybe your first step is to write your goals down. Figure out your goals.
And I think, and without a doubt, that should definitely be your first step. I'm sure that we have all had these ideas that come to our head. And what I do is not, I write everything down, but I've learned to just, if I'm building a swing set for the kids, I'm already thinking in my mind, how far out?
It's annoying.
At least a few months out.
So hold on, let's pause for a second. So this guy, I'm going to pause. Hold your story.
All right. Okay.
Hold your story. Here's how he works. The things that he wants to do, he will deflect, right? So say let's go to the swing set. If he wants to do a swing set, his mindset is done. And it'll get done, right? He'll order 100 different things, like, oh, hey, what about this? What about this? Look at this. Oh, what about this? Can you help me? I told him he needed a damn friend, because I end up helping build a damn swing set. That's
because we're a team. Team. What they always say? Man?
No.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
We're the team at when we're doing bedtime stories, and we're that team at when we're doing
when we're doing cooking, we're washing dishes.
What is when dinner's being cooked?
When dinner's being cooked, we're still a team regardless. And I think you gotta.
Hey, it's a fine line between that team, right? Like that line just be crossing just a little bit. Go back to your story. I'm pausing. Go ahead.
No, I don't forget what I was gonna say now.
Swing
because
set months ahead.
Yeah, but months ahead, because it's. I do plan it out, but this is a lot of things that, okay, I had all these thoughts in my mind. It's like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. And if I don't write it down, I lose track until somebody else starts talking about it. Like he was like, well, what about these shelves? Like, oh man, well, we're not going to go there. That's a different topic. So, but okay, just real quick with the shelves, and I lost track of mine because I didn't write it down.
Okay, let me tell the whole story, right? I wanted shelves in the room to organize the room differently. And I said I was going to build a shelf because I was like, I will build a shelf for RJ's little damn monster trucks. They all over the place. They've taken over the house. Every time we go to the store, we got to buy a monster truck.
Done this weekend.
We moved on.
Done.
Okay, we moved
on
on.
This weekend.
Hold on a second. So in reality, we already had shelves in the room. So I was like, you know what? Let me reorganize. Wait, let me back up. I said I wanted these shelves, and he's like, "Oh, I can build you this amazing." I mean, it turned into a whole damn wall. Like it was like I'm gonna build it around the TV, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm like,
you don't have step.
Where the hell did this come from? So I'm like, that same night. No, it was like a week later or 2 weeks later. The shelves. I ended up moving the shelves, rearranging the room. He comes, and he's like, "Oh, this looks nice," but he still went to the Home Depot or the Lowe's and bought some wood. Ask me what the wood is, because nobody can ask me.
The wood is in the garage
on the floor. It ain't moved.
Well,
my shelf still it's still the same. If I could flip the phone, I would flip it.
That's because at the time it wasn't. Let me be careful.
It wasn't a priority.
It wasn't a. Yeah, well, I'm glad you said that. I wasn't going to say that because I didn't want you to, for this to escalate.
It already escalated.
I'm just. It's already escalated. It was not a high priority because there was other things that we wanted to do. I think
he created.
Okay, that I created.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that it would probably serve a better.
It's like 10 things.
Purpose,
10 things.
Only because, say, you make things work with what you have.
I do, because he takes forever to do things that I want.
Yes.
I mean,
that's true. But so my thing is, I don't like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to put a lot of thought into it, and then I'm going to. I have to see it. I have to see everything that I'm doing. I have to write it all down. I have to sketch it out. I have to do the measurements and everything. So if you just want a shelf, I'm going to give you more than a shelf. That's just the way it is. If you want a box, I'm going to give you more than a regular box.
I mean,
I'm going to give you one with wheels. I'm going to give you one with the. Because I don't believe, if I want to put something in, it kind of like represents me and who I am or what like my work. I let my work show for everything. I'm like, okay, and I got it. You're like, just make it happen, make it real quick. But I can't. I cannot make something that's real quick. And you're like, who did this? I want to say, hey, yeah, I did that right there. It's just like anything. You're like, hey, you know what? I see the look on your face right now.
It's November 10th. And he said,
but you ask my beautiful wife here what I did in those past few months. Now that's the question. Now I may have not completed that one thing, and I understand that maybe I'm not like, how should I say it? I guess I already failed because that's what you wanted, and I failed to come through.
It's the one thing I asked for. The one thing. He'd be like, oh,
yes,
hey, chest poked out. I'll be doing all this for you, girl. What he do? He done. It's a 50 million different things he done did around this house besides my shelves. But
I was thinking about the kids, so too. I was thinking about the kids' happiness and trying to get them things that they want. Okay, we had Halloween in there, so let's talk about Halloween. The kids want everything. They want, and me too. No, I know the way you were looking at me.
You set that up.
Yeah, but they like the scary clowns. They like the spiders and the spider webs, and they wanted the big pumpkin. They didn't know it at the time, but when I showed up with it, and even though they were scared a little bit, but they loved it after that. And then they started judging everybody else in the neighborhood. Like what they have. And now look at them. What do they want? They want more stuff for next year. They want to order it right now for Halloween next year. Now, all I'm saying is that, yeah, I did fail to build the shelves, but I tried to give the kids what they want. Because now the old me, and I have to admit, the old me would have just done what I wanted to do.
But you do, though.
No. What? No, see.
So, the the fireplace that we have now in the back. Who wanted that? The kids? They went to.
Well, I was thinking about us. I was thinking about filling up your love tank. Us, one evening when mom's is here.
Here's the
deal. Me and you can go out back, sit next to the fireplace.
So how is that filling my love tank by you?
Well, I'm trying to have a romantic evening.
Wouldn't my shelf have filled my love tank?
Oh my! You think about see, we're back to where we started because you are right, and I really hate to admit that. My type of way of showing you that I love you is by building this fireplace, a nice with stacked stone.
I'm gonna take a picture and I'm gonna post it on this video so y'all can know what he's talking about.
And it's something it's yo, come on now, give me credit.
It is a very nice fireplace, but
it took me a while, but go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll let you speak. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know how this fireplace is filling my tank when mom's comes here. We can sit outside. But who do you think my kids is? They ain't gonna. It's gonna be all 4 of us, or maybe 3 of us.
And that's fine too, because I'm sure they would enjoy it too. Me and RJ already hung out there, with some covers and stuff. I mean, we were. But so okay, I have to admit, yes. And I've been working on that because I was giving you what I thought you wanted when all you wanted was a shelf. Even though that shelf, even though I didn't see it as something that would make me really happy. Wait, I'm not trying to wait. No, maybe I said it the wrong way. But wait, I'm sorry, man. No, what I'm saying is that
this is my life. This is reality.
I didn't.
In his head, he believes he does all these amazing things, and then I turn around and say, "Well, this conversation went left real quick. We were supposed to be talking about taking action on your goals. But in reality, everything. Like the last couple of days, I reevaluating, reassessing my whole life. Like, me and my husband had a conversation a month ago, 30 days ago, right? And I said, I would like you to support me more. I would like you to help me cook, right? Take part in that. Ask me how many days he's cooked for 30 days. Ask me how many days he's helped me. Ask me.
You want me to ask you because
nobody else can ask me.
Well, I'm sorry if they can't ask you that question.
Okay, I'll just answer.
Don't look at
one
me.
Time.
No, take that back.
One time.
One time.
Cooked dinner. I said
dinner.
One time cooked dinner.
Yes.
Twice I've said, hey, you can come make this. He ignored me and walked off. The second time he ignored me again and went to sleep. So
let it be known that what she's saying right now never came up. But now I know why she had that look on her face on those 2 nights.
No, I said it.
You did not say it, man.
I told RJ, I said, yo, big head dad.
You told RJ.
You were sitting right there. I said,
I was half asleep.
Oh.
Wait.
I said
it was late and I had to go to work.
It was not late.
Okay.
It was early because it was Friday when I made pizza and you went to sleep. I said, RJ, where your big head daddy? He said, he right here sleeping. Then I said, oh. I said, Reginald, you didn't hear me? You were like, what? I said, I asked for you to come make this pizza, and you were like, oh, I can make no pizza.
So when I'm
but I'm just saying, our fine line of what we saying, we doing love tank, and we doing all these different things, right? That for me is all equal into taking action, right? Because you want to fill my love tank, but the action ain't there, right? So this goes for everything in life. Everything. It does not have to be a goal. Yes, ma'am.
It doesn't even have to be in our situation. It's basically doing the things that your partner would like for you to do, not what you would like to do for them. And I have another close friend who we both know who visited here recently that does the same thing. And now I'm up here trying to
Captain Judge over here.
Yeah. I've been that Captain Judge for a long time, but I really started to see it. And yeah, it's not easy to change overnight, and it's the whole thing that we talked about when Alex was on about we got to grow into it. Don't expect things overnight, but we have to continue to try to
What you say?
improve.
How many years we've been together? 15, 12?
15, 20 years now.
It's been the same thing for 20
but,
years.
but okay.
It's her.
So,
but it's the same.
Only because I did not realize until many years later, and it took the whole breaking down of this type of communication what the problem is, and the problem was trying to meet each other's expectations. No, that wasn't it. Well, maybe but you know what? There's another thing I learned about relationships, at least my relationship, is that I want to say I used to be the one who would basically say, well, you did this or you did that.
Oh, 100%.
So it took a lot out, not really a lot out of me. It took a lot of, I guess, reflection and looking at yourself in the mirror and says, hey, you know what? And you said this too. You said, don't focus on trying to just fix the things between us. Focus on the things to fix what you need to fix to make yourself the one the person that you want to be. Mm-hmm. And when I did that, I stopped blaming you for everything. I started looking at myself and I started writing down. I was saying, hey, wait, it's harder to change you than it is me. It's a whole lot easier to change me. So let me start rethinking or thinking a different way. Hey, this is what I've been doing. I do apologize. Don't flip it and say, but you did this. And I was bad at that. I'm like, well, how am I wrong when you're doing the same thing? Stop pointing the finger at you, because if it's a problem with me, then I need to fix myself first. And I think you need to really focus on yourself, fix yourself first and say, hey, I'm sorry. And then I think that they will start seeing those same things in themselves. Like, wow, he's not blaming me anymore. He's really saying what affects him, how he feels, not how he thinks you feel, how he feels. And it's really stop. I think about when you first started a relationship. When you first started a relationship, do you say that? Well, you did this or you did that, and I don't think so.
I mean, you look at him like, oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, you may say, yeah, exactly. That's annoying, but are you really communicating with them and say, hey, it is a problem now. I don't.
I did.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you was a little. When I first met you, you was pretty.
Hey, my expectations have always been
your expectations. Like, they've been out. You were more intimidating.
Of the roof,
to a lot of people.
But that's not my problem.
And if we wasn't forced to run together,
you should have showed up.
Well, I'm all about my word, so
but
that's different because that was work related. Somebody says, now I'm not trying to say that my personal life I'm not committed or anything, but I did put a lot of focus in my military career where I always tried to do whatever task somebody told me to do, especially if they was higher up than me, then I did it. There was probably not one thing that I said I couldn't do. If I said I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Now with my own life, I started to I wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Because I know it was only me that was holding myself accountable.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. And when somebody else is looking at you like, well, he's holding me accountable, so I have to do it.
I mean, but so isn't that the same thing with me and you?
Yes, it is. But it then becomes.
It's always a but, that capital but.
You know what? That but needs to be. I need to lose that but out of my vocabulary because but is not, because they say but is a word people use to. Yeah, you cancel out everything that you
I'm gonna do this, but okay, but no, you're not gonna do it now.
So it is.
So the take action, right, that we started out this live as is in everything in your life. It is absolutely everything because and how you show up for one person, you need to show up in all areas, right? You shouldn't do more for work than you do for your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your whatever.
Oh.
Because in reality, when you do more, it says, I love this more than I love you.
Yeah.
And some people may not agree, and that's cool. But here's the deal. You can't, if you always showing up for somebody else, and then that expectation, right? Because he showed up for work, but then expected me to be a wife, right? So when I would say, I'm not doing that, but you my wife. Fool, you my husband, but you still show up for them fools more than you show up for me.
Yes.
So in reality, the love, where is the love? Because, okay, here's the deal. I can't say how much he loves me. I cannot. I can't say how much that he loves me less than anything else. But what I see, the action, that big words, capital actions, right, is what I go off of.
Yeah.
So you can say, oh, babe, I love you. He used to say, I love you more than you love me. Really though? Because our actions, right, spoke louder. I would show up for him. He had something going on, I would show up. When when I had something going, oh, babe,
you gotta understand. Yeah, I got.
Or what was it? That's the Army works harder than the Air Force, right? Or now my new thing, right? My new thing is I gotta go to work and I don't get to sleep in. That's me. He's talking about me. I get to sleep in, but I don't sleep in because I got 2 kids. I still gotta get up. I still gotta get me together before I get these kids together. Or the hotmess.com. It is rolling up door because I got a child that acted just like this one. Like, and I'm not gonna say it's a horrible thing, but it's small baby. It's a small baby.
It's a challenge.
It's an irritation.
That's all. It's
like just Jesus help me. Jesus need to take the whole car because it'd be a struggle up in this house. And I've learned just yesterday, not right now, yesterday. I need to change how I see the end results, just like I did with him. When you change how you see it, right? Your expectations on how you see the things in your life, how you want them to turn out, how you see in them is how it ends up being. Yes, it may not be exactly how that picture is, but it will be damn close because you are actually doing, instead of putting more, because here's the deal. We're going back to the energy you put into something, right? The negative energy that you put towards that negative thing that's coming to you is in the end, when you turn around and put your positive spin on it, the positivity starts to stream from the other end. So something that stresses the hell out of you. It's something building. Somebody don't know how to just take one toy out and dump the whole box and get that one little toy at the bottom of the thing. But when you want somebody to give you a different results, right? Because it ain't about changing them. It's about having the peace and the balance on everything. It's how you show up, the thoughts you put to it. So if I continue to say, oh my God, like I'm telling y'all, my child, Jesus, she will not just get up and get dressed and be done. She has to stroll and I'm gonna tell y'all, the energy I brought to that, I was like, oh my God, if we get it together, like right now, today we had an easy peasy morning because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna show up, and how she reciprocates me showing up is not the problem. It's me seeing it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be amazing. We are gonna get this done. It's gonna be amazing, and it was so amazing because I showed up differently. That's
right.
It's about me and whoever else. It's about you, how you're showing up. You don't like your job. How are you showing up? What action are you taking to get out of that job, except for complaining? Because if complaining is where you're at, all you're gonna get is negative.
That's
all
right.
you're gonna get is negative, and everything. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this conversation we having, how much? 15, 12 years ago?
Yeah. 15,
it would have never.
20.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, it would have ended in destruction, like pure destruction. Don't act random. He gonna act cute on the live because he don't want nobody to know. But it would have been a hotmess.com. It would have, because he would have said, "Oh, this is me. I'm this," and I'm like, "Well, you can do what you want," and it'd have been the back and forth. But the communication, the things, the seeing the different, the wanting the different is what. Yes. Okay. It is where you're at. It can't be total destruction all the time. It has to be some communication.
And as we look at just relationships, couples, married couples or whoever, I didn't see it before, but it's very very noticeable now how you see couples and you see one. It's more like it's not a mutual.
Yeah, it's that's what he wants. So
yeah, it's basically you're doing everything based off of more one sided, or the husband is doing. Everything is driven off of what that husband wants to do. Everything is driven. Yeah.
I'm the man of the house.
Yes, and is that the way it's supposed to be, especially in these day and ages? And I don't even want to start with that, but I think, and that's why you see so many spouses. Yeah, because I try to be politically correct now these days. But you see one that is following the other.
Yep.
But the one that's
putting
following, putting your dreams on hold. The one that's following is putting their dreams on hold. Are they ever truly happy? And then when something happens down the road, like you see all these movies where that person becomes now he makes all this money. Now he wants to get rid of his loved one, or she wants to get rid of him, and you look like this person had given up everything. But at what point do you stand up for yourself? And you did that to me. You broke up with me real quick, and I had.
So
I really don't want to go there, but But
you have to put the back on it. So
yes.
when we first met, I was stationed in Spain. I mean, when we first got together and that happened, I was in Spain.
Yes.
And he was in Germany. And I asked him, I said, would you be willing to go where I want to go? And he was like, straight up, like that, like it didn't even take, it wasn't even a blink. He was like, no, I have my own career and I don't want to go because I wanted to go to Hawaii. I think that's when I first brought up Hawaii.
Yes, you want to go to Hawaii.
And I was like, I want to go to Hawaii. Right. And I said, would you be willing to go where I want to go? Because in reality, he did outrank me. So he dictated most of the places we would go once we got married. Because we weren't married at that time. No, we weren't. We were just dating. And I said, would you? He was like,
"How's your boy?" Go ahead.
He was like, no. I said, well, we ain't got nothing else to talk about. He's like, are you serious? Oh, I'm dead serious. I ain't got time. I do not have time to play this game about I'm the man. And we were both in the damn military. We were both in the military. Yes, he was in longer. Yes, he outranked me. But you don't get, just because you are been in longer and you outranked me did not dictate you dictating our whole career. He was like, no, you can follow me.
But I didn't see it that way. Okay. I was seeing it as we need to go somewhere where I know they have Army and Air Force.
That's not what you said.
You're right. I didn't say it like that, but my thought process was like, okay, we can go to DC. They have Andrews. They have the Army. You can have some. But I was looking at it from. It didn't come out the way that it should have came out. Let me just say that.
Hey, did your mama ever tell you think before you speak?
Yeah, she did. But there's a lot of times you're like, no, I think we should just go here because it's better for us. I didn't know that I was really making decisions for both of us when I was wrong. And there's so many people. I heard you say this to one of the guys the other day, and you said, and I don't even want to say the whole conversation because this is someone we both know and they could be watching, but
listen,
it just let him know that you are wrong for thinking that you putting everything that you want to do first and leaving your loved one behind to take care of the kids. And I used to think like that, and then, yeah, I was wrong for thinking that way. And there's so many, mainly men that do that. At least in my opinion.
Mainly men. I mean, I guess I can't say women don't do this because
I'm sure there are.
But he dictated. Like I would say, oh, let's go on this trip. He'd be like, so here's the deal. Reginald thinks that every idea he thinks he has is better than no matter what you got. Like any idea I come up with, he'd be like, well, he's always looking at a different way to make it better, right? Because his idea is better. He can't just roll with my idea and be like, yeah, that's a great idea. No, It has to be. I mean, with everything in life, and I'm gonna tell you, it's very, very frustrating to be in a relationship because I am already like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I have to remind myself my expectations, right? For him to just listen to what I said I wanted and do it, right? Like if I say I want this phone, let's just say that. If I want this phone,
I'm looking for a better phone that I think
everything
is better. Yeah, everything. Even when we go on vacation, she's like, let's go here. We're still here. I'm
like,
thinking,
no, that's not a good place.
Let's find this place that has all these amenities and 4 or 5-star hotel, because I'm thinking, I'm just looking at the whole package deal and say, hey, this is, I think, what's better for us as a whole. So I'm not really looking at, like, I got it. You may want this, but I'm trying to get more out of it than the bare minimum, I guess. And maybe I am wrong for doing it.
But here's the deal. His bare minimum, right, is my. But that's what you just said. The bare minimum.
But what I'm saying is, if you want to get something, we've had this discussion before, and I really didn't see it until here recently when you're telling me that, say we want to go to St. Thomas. You're like, all right, I'm getting a hotel. I'm already looking like, well, let me look for the hotel, because I look and say, we can get Airbnb. If we had 10 people going down there, we can get this $3,500
house. You talking about the last trip we took, and then?
Well, I'm just saying, it's those. I think of what can I get more bang for the buck, I guess, and that's everything. If you're saying that you want now that you think about it, I recently did that, even with something as simple as a printer, where you're saying we can get this $500 printer, and I'm like, well, does it have a fax machine? No, it doesn't have a fax machine. Well, how many papers does it print a minute? I'm already looking at now at this $1,100 printer, because I know it's probably better when all she wants was this. Not even a $500, what, a $300 printer? But it doesn't have fax. It doesn't have it doesn't have multiple scanning.
Right here.
Yeah, but I'm looking for
right here.
Yeah, but I just feel like if we're gonna
pay
the
scan
money
and fax that much.
No, we don't. But when I do have to scan,
and
let me tell you,
this just went left.
It did go left, but because I've had these conversations with people, and sometimes I feel like I'm right, but I know I'm wrong at times too. I'm wrong, and it's sad that I had this discussion last week with a guy that I work with, and he was doing the same thing, and I'm like, yeah, right. Thank you. We're on the same sheet of music.
He was like, you see what he did? Wait, you just did that last week to me.
But then,
yes, but it was different. It was different.
It's really not until we start talking about it. Like now, you're like, wow, I just did exactly what she's talking about with this printer. And now I just told you about it today. Well, babe, I found this one printer.
Yeah. So I rearranged the office space, and he believes that he ordered this stuff, and I was like, that's not what I want. I just want to put this and this. He's like,
no, but this one is so much better.
He sends me a video of what he bought me that is going to make it so amazing. But here's the deal. I don't know how this went so left real quick.
Yeah,
but
it would left.
But it's relevant, right? Because we sit here and we say, this is what I want. And then somebody's always trying to make it. I'm not saying that. Okay, so I'm not saying that to me, it's your ideas are your ideas, and I think I can make everything you do better. But in reality, how does that play out in my world?
Well, I can understand that, because now you're looking at me like, are you really listening to me? Do you really care about my feelings or what I want? And
this person said that comes from Grandpa, Uncle Reggie. He made us think a plan, everything down to a T, and look at the best possible deal and every means to accomplish the goal successfully.
Exactly.
But here's the deal. That's understandable, right? Like you look at every aspect, every possibility. But when you're in a relationship, when you're in a marriage, a relationship, anything you do, and I always used to get on him when the girls will be like, "Oh, Dad, I want this." And even now with RJ and Brianna, Daddy, I want this. Oh no.
You get
So
something
here's
better.
the deal. Here's the deal. Very specific. RJ likes the little push cars, right? He just wants a monster truck he can push around in the world. And he was like, oh, you need this. You need this one. Well, it was a remote control, bigger car. Well, RJ now pushes that remote control car around. So he's like, that's not how you do it, buddy. You're not supposed to do it. You're not supposed to do it. You're not this and this. And then I'm like, but you bought that. He didn't ask for that. So in reality, we continue to put our ideas, our thoughts on somebody else. And you have to remember, how does that make that person feel? What the heck is this?
Yes.
How does that make that person feel? It's like you want to play this, oh my goodness, I know everything. I know best. But ask yourself, how does that make the other person feel when you think every idea or you try to trump every idea that they come? This is what you really need because I Googled it.
Yeah, and I think that for someone that's doing what I'm doing, you think you're trying to help the situation, or you're trying to make something better, and hopefully that they'll see that
In
the
end,
same way. Yes, in the end, and say, "Oh, that's what you're talking about, Daddy," or what have you. And now I know that maybe it's a different approach to it, or maybe not, because we do that to our own kids, and then they end up carry on throughout life doing the things that they don't want to do, and they end up doing it for their parents. And then you say, well, what happened? How did you drop out of college? Daddy, I didn't want to go to college anyway.
Yeah.
You made me go. You said the only way you buy me a car if I go to college. True story.
Yes, real true story.
So next thing you know, she's up there partying, having a good time. And I'm going like, but it was never what she wanted to do. It's what I wanted her to do.
Wait, So you have telling the story.
No, I'm telling her.
Well, you wanted her to go. You wanted her to college.
Yes.
And she didn't want to. But then she ended up saying, "I'll go because my cousin's
Oh
going."
yeah,
that's right there. Else. Yeah. So
because you end up doing something that you
and
really
then
didn't want to do.
She failed.
Yes.
And then you took. So here's the deal: we take on blame of what I guess I don't know our children. I don't know. We take on blame of something like even when you're kids, right? So this story. He wanted her to go to school. He's always been like, y'all need to go college, blah, blah, blah. In reality, it's an opportunity that not everybody has, right? And she's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to. Well, you're going to do something. That was it. That was his thing. You're going to do something. And she's like, I don't want to go. And then out of the blue, she's like, oh, I want to go to college with my cousin. And then failed.
Yeah.
She failed herself. She failed herself. And for me, I told him, I said, you ain't mad enough, sir. Like, you ain't mad enough. Like, that money just went right. Go ahead and go to the toilet and go ahead and flush it because it went right down the toilet. Because in reality, but he was okay with the flushing of the toilet, the money, right? Because he got what he wanted out of that part, but the other end wasn't held up, right?
Yes. And with that, I should have listened to you. Because you were saying don't force these things on them to do something that they don't want to do. And that's what happens. 15 years later, right? 15? No, that wasn't 15.
I'm talking about me 15 years later. You talking about I should have listened?
Oh. Yeah, but
when we were in the
let me stop saying but.
When we were in the root of it.
The thing is, sometimes it's hard to just instead of getting offensive, if you hear something or someone says something that you don't, there you go, defensive. Instead of getting defensive, when you hear something that you don't like, just stop and think about what somebody's telling you.
Yep.
And because they can say the same thing to someone else, and you probably think, oh yeah, you agree with them. But when it comes down to someone pointing the finger at you, you get defensive.
Yep.
And I was wrong for that many times, and until I hear her saying that to someone else. I'm like, yeah. And then she'll look at me like the same thing you did. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Captain High Five over here. Like,
wow,
that's a good idea.
That's right. That's right. And most times, someone's only telling you because they care about you, and they don't want to see you hurt or going down the wrong path. It's just it's really
What they say, it's if you can't say criticism, you can't grow.
yeah.
Right? It's that. I mean, they may not be the exact words, but oh, Alex, what's up? He said all parents take the blame for the kids all the time.
Yes.
So here's the deal. I'm 100%. We're gonna own this. We're gonna own what you did, and I'm gonna ride or die for you if you right. But if you talk to that teacher crazy, me and you got a life problem. I don't care. And we had this situation, right, where Miss Alexa was acting up in the class.
Oh yes.
And she was telling this teacher, she was talking over the teacher, y'all.
She felt like she was right, and she was gonna go down regardless. And
we had a parent teacher conference. He took me. I ended up was I living?
I'm not sure.
I don't even remember. I ended up going to this parent teacher conference, and when the way this woman was talking, she was like, "Alexa is so rude. She tells me that I need to stop interrupting her while she talks." I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Jesus had to help me, because I was like, I would kill her. I would kill her, because that represents you. That right there is a representation of you. And we got to the house. Oh Jesus.
Yes.
He was just like, so,
Yes, I was trying to, as Alex was saying, I was really trying to defend my.
Yeah, he was defending.
Trying to defend my kid, because
he was like defending.
I can understand. Yeah, it's so you say, yeah, you may be right about what you said.
She was not right.
Well, I'm just saying, even if you are right on what you said, doesn't give you the authority or even the right to speak to anyone like that.
She wasn't right.
Well, I'm just based on what she was saying at the time.
No,
because
no, she was absolutely wrong. Like in every aspect of the damn conversation.
Well, I truly can't remember the whole conversation.
But she told the woman that do not interrupt me while I'm talking. What I was talking about was very important. And she said, Alexa, can you please wait? If you have anything to say, can you please wait until I'm done teaching to talk about it? Alexa said no. So at this point, your rude behind child thought she was more entitled to this teacher. Like, you really want to do this right now?
You don't want to just
no, I'm talking about you said, oh, she was right. She was.
Well, what I'm saying is, okay, I don't remember that whole full story. I don't have a memory like you.
Well, I mean, I be forgetting things, but she felt very entitled. She felt. I mean,
and that
this was a very significant point in the conversation we had and how the relationship folded out with me and Alexa because of the fact of that conversation with that woman. So you best believe it's playing back in my head 50 million times.
Yes, and that is also another episode, which it'd be great to even one day have them on.
But you know what? In reality, they will think exactly how you thought. That
only because I try to see. I'm not saying like I try to see every situation. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
You know what I'm saying? She was right. Like she had a point.
What I'm saying is that there's two sides to every story. She can tell her side, and teachers tell her side until we have them both together and get what truly happened. So and so did it really unfold like that? We don't know. So I just try to, no matter who it is, and having to be my own kids, I try to listen to both sides.
My eye twitches a little bit.
Yeah, I try to listen to both sides, and most time people will believe.
You believe your child because it's your child.
I was about to say the adult or what have you, but as we all know, most people tend to listen to their own kids a little more because they feel like, well, surely. You know what? This is another episode because this is about to get hot up in here. Because she's trying to rush us to new episodes here, and when we get to the up and coming episodes, it may even go live. We probably the Kardashians ain't got nothing on us. I'm telling you. but we're not trying to go there right now.
Jesus.
But yes, we tend to only because we try to protect our kids because we raise them.
I heard a thing.
And we raise them. So when you're talking about they're a direct reflection. Usually, like my kid would never do that. Especially my oldest, who was at school, and the whole thing about we got called about drinking at the school, which is another thing. So I shouldn't even brought that up because they're probably they normally watch these videos too, and the teacher or the principal called me. I went down there and they said, you know what, your kids been drinking at school. So I said, all right, were you drinking? Were you drinking at school? No, Daddy, I promise you.
No, Daddy, I wasn't. His voice can't go. No, I was not.
So I was like, okay, I believe you. You know,
Boo-boo, fool over here.
Okay, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. No, she was not drinking at school. She was not drinking at school.
Well, she was drinking the shop at.
Wait, no, wasn't the shop at. So you don't have your story right. So the thing, it was just her and her friends. Okay, so I thought about this. I was like, well, who is right or who is wrong here?
But wait, where were they drinking at?
Wait, so since you get, I said, well, let me rephrase the question here. Let me think about this. Were you drinking at school? No, I was not. Okay. Were you drinking any time during the day? And I got that look. Okay. Did you leave school to drink and then go back to school? And that's when the look came. They were at the park across the street with some friends drinking.
So you're saying the principal didn't have his story right because it wasn't on school grounds.
Exactly. Because they didn't have. So no, but what I'm saying is that no. Okay, well, hold on because my thing is, it's just like anything I do. I try to go off of facts. I try to really listen. Say, okay, so she didn't lie.
So
wait, she didn't lie.
Okay.
She was not drinking at school.
You going to jail?
Well,
if anybody say you
no,
but
still, but if you went to court, I think if you went to court and they says, were you drinking at school? No, I was not drinking at school.
So technically, let me ask you this. So technically, right, a child goes to school.
Did they have alcohol in the system? Yeah, they had. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, they had alcohol in the system.
So,
but I was only going off of what.
So, the question is, if you're stating that a child goes to school, because Brianna, I only know my times from Brianna. Yes. Brianna goes to school from 7:40 to 1:50.
Yes.
So okay. So if you're saying stop it, if you're saying that the principal says your child was drinking at school because it was during school hours, right?
Yes.
So technically, you have now left your child in the guidance of the people in that school. So technically, if they say your child was drinking at school, right? So you're taking the technicality of the school building itself. And like what definition, like across the street at the park, does the park belong to the school? I mean, we can get technical, because if we go to court and the judge say, you know, okay, let's measure how far the school is from this park.
I'm not saying she's definitely wrong.
But here's the deal. You defended her on the fact that on the fact that she didn't lie about the school part, but she lied. Because that's where the judge gonna come in and still take your money because you're gonna go to jail, sir.
Yeah, and I
you ain't no lying child.
I agree with that.
So
it was not right. She was definitely wrong, and trust me, I went to school with her after that, and I sat in class all the time. Which that's another topic because the kids were definitely disobedient in the classrooms, but that gives no excuse at all on why she acted like that and her friends, regardless of her friend, why she acted like that. So she don't have to do community service. I got that. But the thing is that yes, she was wrong. Okay, she was wrong. She tricked me basically.
She tricked you.
But I also looked at it myself as I didn't ask the right question either. But I've always been like that for everything. Even when we were fighting in combat, yeah, it's 3:00 in the morning. There's a bunch of insurgents out. We're getting shot at by RPG, and next thing you know, I see 5 people out in the open carrying RPGs and weapons, and they walk behind the building. And then 3 minutes later, 5 people came out with no weapons. What do I do?
What?
Do I shoot them? Huh? I know that they're enemy. No, I don't, because in my mind, I'm not 100% sure that they are the enemy because they don't have weapons. And that's the way I see things. It's like I want to know 100% for sure that either she's lying. Were you at school drinking? No, she was not at school. And I don't know the rules. I don't know like if 500 meters from the school or when she's at school, everything during those hours she's technically at school. I don't know all that. So I just look at things based off of what I believe is the fact and the way I answer the question. So the way somebody answered the question. And they say if you're gonna tell a lie, you at least gotta tell half the truth. And that's the way I just see things. You know what? Obviously, we went down the wrong.
Hey, what this are?
Well, I think I have to go because obviously this has went in a different direction.
We started out talking about actions, but I mean, in reality, the actions we cannot lose. The actions we take in everything we do, right? Everything we do.
Yes.
It's a pot. It plays a part in how things turn out, how life situations, no, please no, how life situations end up being because of the fact that we all think differently. And that's why I want to know, do you know what take action means? Okay, you're done. You're done. Do you know what take action means? You're done. And if you don't, then you need to really reevaluate how you're doing things and get clear on what you need. Because in the end, we're going to believe half the story over here because we don't have the facts.
That's right. Obviously, I'm sure this episode is going to end here soon.
Yep.
But you can best believe that we will continue to have this episode for the next 30 to 45 minutes in order to make sure that we're both. Me and your dad.
I'm done. I don't care about that lie that she told years ago.
Well, you know what? I just want you to know the way that I. No,
he wants
I
to defend his reasoning.
Yeah, exactly. I do.
The 500 meters from the school. Stop.
You know, I do.
He wants to defend.
I'm not saying that's right.
You want to defend. He wants to defend this. He wants to defend the reasoning behind the 500 meters, the school, the park. The park.
What I am defending here.
The fact that your child didn't lie, but she did lie.
Okay, she did.
So in reality,
she lied, but based on what the principal said, like she was drinking at school.
Okay,
now if you can say that,
but you're saying you don't know the definition of how far the school.
Yeah, I don't. But I was going off of face value to say straight up, not just.
First off, the child is underage, drinking. It don't matter, park, desert.
You're right.
Rooftop.
You're right, but it just like you had to figure out what the facts. You had to gather the facts first. Okay. Now, initially, it was your kid was drinking at school.
Okay, on school day, on school time.
Yes. Okay, so when I asked my kid, and they say,
you know what?
No, I was not drinking at school. So okay, then.
Years ago.
Yeah, you're right. We don't. You know what? You're right. Yeah, I'm not defending. Well, yeah, okay. You can say I'm defending.
You are.
And when I say I'm defending,
because you're still trying.
Yes,
to,
because
you're trying to clarify to people that your child didn't drink at school.
You know what?
I'm gonna go. We're gonna go.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go.
God, because that's That's so funny. That's funny. Because drinking at school at under 18 ain't really got nothing to do with taking action, except for the fact that your child cares more about drinking than going to school.
Well, but my thing was the fact that the lead up to it is all I'm saying. Now, when everything happened, then when I come to,
boy, bye.
You know what?
Bye.
Hey, have a good night. I'm going to the doghouse. Y'all be safe.
He gonna be at the doghouse. I cannot deal with him. What doghouse? But anyway, you guys have an amazing night. I am glad you joined us, and we will see you the following Wednesday. Or if Captain Extra over here want to come back, because he's still standing right there. He didn't go far.
Yeah, because I got a lot on my mind, but
we're gonna go now. You guys have a great night.